about the antenatal hospital?
I actually don't know. I left that class yesterday and I was so quiet on the way home. Alan was like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know what I thought. I think, I don't even know why I'm getting emotional now about it, but it was just such a different experience than the class I had with Mary or the class I had with Claire. I didn't come out of it feeling empowered, maybe, or I didn't come out of it, I don't know. I honestly don't really know what I feel about it. I'm still trying to get my head around it. I couldn't concentrate last night. I went for like a small walk when I got home. I just needed to clear my head. I went to bed, I couldn't sleep. I got up, I was on the internet, and I was just, I don't know, it was just, I don't know if I just can't deal with the public system or something. So it was a HSE run antenatal class that's, offered to all women at their 20-week scan. Yeah. So some of the information was good, but I had gotten an email from a lady in Dublin who'd seen some of my vlogs, and who does this gentle birthing. And she had just mentioned to me about the third stage of labour when you delivered the placenta, which again, of course, I'm totally clueless about, so it was all new to me, and said that in Waterford they routinely use a drug called symptometrin, which apparently is against HSE policy or recommendations, and that you're not meant to breastfeed for 12 hours after you get this drug. So I wasn't sure about that, so I had made questions, and first of all, I must say I was probably the most annoying person in the class yesterday. Like, I was that annoying person, so I'm actually a little embarrassed about that. But anyway, so I had all these questions, and when I asked her then these questions, I was just totally like, no, that's not true. And then I just felt so maybe, I just felt kind of, I felt I went in there with kind of an idea, like, okay, this is happening, what can I do about it? And it was like the carpet was taken from under me. I think that's actually how I felt after I left. That even though, like, looking back on it, Alan and I had way more information than the rest of the people in the class, which was kind of, it was kind of shocking maybe that, that there was a lot of things people didn't know. I thought we didn't know a whole lot, but actually maybe we knew more than we think we did. But so, and I suppose I felt the person who had given me this information about that drug, I felt she wasn't just saying that to me, that it was true. So then when the midwife yesterday said she said yes, they use that routinely. And I said, my question was, so she said it was used routinely and that, it was just part and parcel of what they do. And I kind of felt, well, oh my goodness, like they're going to give you this drug that you don't even have to consent to. So that's what scared me more, that you're not asked, is this okay with you? So I suppose that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And again, I felt like some of the details were just kind of poor. Like, she spoke about breathing, but again, when Mary spoke about breathing, she really explained like what way to breathe with pushing out, with expanding the belly. Whereas you were just told to breathe. But again, like breathing, what is, like we all breathe, sometimes we're breathing wrong for labour, I suppose, so I felt that was, I think I just felt that the carpet was pulled from under me, that some of the information I had learned to now that I felt really confident was good information, I was told was wrong, I suppose. And I kind of just felt so confused coming out of there. Thinking back, I think Mary had said, they get you in, they deliver you, and they get you out. But I actually had forgotten about that till now. See, I'm going to blame the baby. It's baby brain. Yeah, probably. And so I think, again, like my expectations, they're the killer of me always, but my expectations were going in was a similar service to what I've had maybe in the private sector, and you just don't get that. And again, I kind of was left leaving thinking, this is not good enough for pregnant women. We deserve so much better than that, Like, again, I suppose I was quite clear on inducing, and that wasn't brought up at all in the class, which again from Mary, like I learned so much valuable information, realised how important it is. Like, it was referred to very blasé numerous times throughout the class yesterday about you might get the drip going. And like, straight away when I heard that, I was like, I know that's not what I want, you know. So yeah, I think I was left a bit deflated at the end of yesterday's class. But in saying that, then when I couldn't sleep last night, I decided, you know what, no, I am, because I was a bit kind of on the fence about doing a birth plan or birth preferences, because I really don't want to be that person going in with this big, like, you know, I don't know, dictating to them or this big agenda. But then I thought, you know what, this is ridiculous, because when I'm in labour, if I'm going to be all stressed that they're doing these things that I don't want to do, well, that's not going to help the situation either. So Mary had given me a template of birth preferences, and another midwife had mentioned that Baby Centre have a website that have some good, so I kind of mixed and matched the two, and from some of my own, things that I know I want and I know I don't want, I just put down really simply, you know, what did I put down? Just really simply, like under headings like who's going to be with me, you know, what about inducing, monitoring, labouring positions, you know, pain relief, just very basic things. But I think for me, and I have an appointment with my consultant today, so again, I'm going to bring that up with him so that he knows where I'm at as well. And I think that will make me feel much better about it, you know. The other thing, and then the other thing about yesterday was, I had mentioned to her, she didn't talk about breastfeeding because there is a breastfeeding class specifically, and other people were signed up for that. But like, again, I think, oh my God, if the breastfeeding class was on the same wavelength as this class, I can understand why the rates are so poor, I suppose, you know. I don't know why it's upset me, actually. I don't know. I think that maybe it made me confused, and maybe a bit nervous and fearful that I could go in there and, you know, I'll be induced and they'll use that drug to help deliver the placenta, and all of these things are going to happen that I don't consent to. I think, you know, it's a different situation if they say, this is what we're going to do. Now, are you okay with that? I think maybe it was that feeling that I won't be listened to, and that I have no control, and maybe it is that I'm a control freak to some degree, you know. And I think though Alan as well, his concern is that he won't be listened to as well, for sure. Like even in the questions that we had to give, like that was his concern, that like, you know, what, you know. And I suppose given some of the things that are in the media at the moment about, you know, some of the women who have died, and that, you know, things weren't done and the husbands weren't listened to, or the partners weren't listened to, so like that's his biggest concern, I think. And so I think that was it. But I, you know what, now this morning, I suppose, being able to maybe think about it better, I feel that it was better that happening now than being in labour and it happening and me being totally not even stressed, but like worried, you know. So because now I can do something about it. Like, I've done up my birth preferences, and I'm going, and again, even about that drug that they use, like I'm going to double check that with Dr. Birmingham. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I have him, right? So like I'm going to have a kind of good chat with him about that. And then I contacted Claire also, and she does antenatal classes as well. So I kind of set up a Skype meeting with her, and even just talking to her on the phone this morning, like I feel so much better about it. Like I feel okay, you know, I'll have better information, and I'll know more going in, at least, you know. And I think, you know, she said to me this morning, Aoife, it's not that everything goes perfectly, it's about that you feel empowered and part of the decision making process. And I think for me that's the important thing. I didn't feel one bit empowered coming out of there yesterday. I felt completely deflated, completely. And it wasn't that it was that terrible, but it was just, maybe it was the underlying kind of I don't know, what's the word? The underlying kind of vibe, maybe. You know, because like it was just like mentioned, like the whole idea that, oh yeah, we might start the drip to get things going, was mentioned so blasé a few times through it. Nobody else in the class knew what that meant. Like at the end, one girl eventually asked. I knew what it was meant, and I knew that that's not going to happen to me, or I don't want that to happen without it being, you know, asking me if it's okay. You know, and even when I asked about the drug, nobody else in the class had even heard of it. Now, granted, I didn't either, you know, but again, like, I suppose, you know, I think about, you know, what are things that are important to me, and successfully breastfeeding is one of them. And if getting that drugs means you're not meant to feed for 12 hours after, that can really disrupt how successful you're going to be with it. So I don't know. Like I think there's some questions I need answered from Dr. Birmingham. I want to get a little bit more information on that, you know, because I definitely don't know, you know, I don't know at all, right? And like, you know, it's just getting the right information from the right people, I suppose.